Good morning, Intenders.
Good morning.
Welcome to Morning Intentions. Today is Tuesday, February 10th. Thank you for joining us today and every day, Internet. As always, thank you for joining me on this journey of morning intentions.
Oh, thank you. I love it, Ada.
I love it too. It gives me so much to think about each and every day. And I'm thinking about what you shared with us yesterday about pausing before you give your answer. And that answer, you could pause and that answer could actually be a yes, but we want to create that moment of pause or that time of pause to go within and our answer come from alignment.
We're trying to get out of the auto yes.
Right. And I'm thinking, here's what I'm thinking about and what you gave me so much to think about. It could be someone asking for help. It could be what people are wanting to do. And there could be so much pressure inside of us if we are a people pleaser, if we want to make people happy, or we're like, well, they're a really good friend, so I kind of should, but I don't really want to. There could be so many reasons to feel that internal pressure of doing something that maybe we don't really want to do, and then taking that time to pause to give our honest answer. Now, what you mentioned right at the end gave me the most pause. There can be such internal pressure. It's not necessarily from everyone outside of ourselves, but there can be such pressure to explain ourselves
and justify.
What I've seen in my life, because I've felt that pressure. Have you felt that pressure? I want to ask you too.
Oh my goodness, yes.
I have felt that pressure so much.
I don't anymore, I have to say, but it's total lived experience for me.
I'm speaking from experience. I already knew your answer. Remember, you're not supposed to ask a question if you don't already know the answer.
Who said that?
I think that's a lawyer thing.
Oh.
but I did know you have felt the pressure because we've talked about that before. What I have found when I get into that space of, oh, I should justify, I should give a good reason and hope it's a good enough reason, it's coming from living out of alignment, actually. It's living from fear. And it's for all those times in my life where my no by itself wasn't respected. And that was a challenge for me to overcome. And especially it's like, oh, well, first of all, I'm assuming this person's not going to respect my no. Secondly, I have to, and I've had to learn to not justify and give the good enough reason and just let my no be no. And of course, there's wiggle room, if it's you. For me, and I'd say, no, I'm not really interested. Of course, I'd probably give more of an explanation because you're my mom. But then it can also be maybe our no is enough. But that also can be hard to do.
So what you're saying is, maybe you didn't go through these steps, but you did listen and you did notice. This was in the past. Maybe it still happens today. I don't know. But you did listen, you did notice, and you did act from alignment. You said your no. But then that no wasn't respected. Somebody just bulldozed right through it.
Or I would be badgered and, are you sure? Are you sure? Maybe if we did this way, it's like, it's no. Stop asking.
Then did that take you out of alignment? Then did you say, oh, well, okay, I'll just do it their way? Like, did you go into self-abandonment? Meaning you knew what was true for you, but you gave way to somebody else. Is that what you're telling us?
There definitely have been times where the badgering and the asking and re-asking became too much, and I would self-abandon and just say, fine, whatever. Even if my heart knew that's not what I want to do.
I'm so happy that you brought this up. You didn't even bring this up when you and I were discussing all these different ways to start acting from alignment. But I'm really pleased that you did, because what does happen when we know what living in alignment with what we listen to and notice looks like, but then it's not respected? And that's where I would say we need to pause again. Like yesterday, we were talking about the pause, and go back and remind ourselves. So what did we hear when we listened? What did we notice? And not allow ourselves to abandon ourselves. And that's where it's difficult the very first few times.
You're spot on with the difficulty part because when I have given in to, I'm just going to call it badgering. Maybe that's too strong a word. I'm not sure. That's what it feels like. Of course, then that sets the stage that it works. Oh, if you ask Ada enough times, if you insist and you keep going, eventually she's going to relent and just go along with it. It's like giving your dog a treat when he's naughty. It sets the stage of treats happen when you do what you're not supposed to be doing. And so if you do it, you still get a treat.
Also, this happens in social situations, especially we have seen this with the clients that we've worked with over the years when, let's say, they're wanting to not drink or not drink as much. We're recording this on Super Bowl Sunday. They might be going to Super Bowl gathering and they just want to go and be with their friends and they enjoy their friends and watch the game. They don't want to get into this situation where they've had too much to drink. They want to enjoy themselves. But then somebody will put the beer in their hand or someone will say, well, what's wrong with you today? How come you're not joining in? And
one drink's not going to hurt you. When'd you get so stuck up? You don't want to have fun with us anymore?
That's why we're doing this work, so that we can prepare ourselves beforehand and we can live from this place that is oriented and aligned. We all know what it feels like to shoot from the hip, just get ourselves in a situation we don't know what to do. And 9 times out of 10, we abandon ourselves. And self-abandonment erodes our sense of worth. Self-abandonment is never the key to positive connection with other people. If I'm spending time with you and trying to have connection with you, but you don't honor my no, well, then I can't really ever feel connected to you until you start honoring my no. As long as there isn't too much water under the bridge, too. And I think we've all had situations like that when our no has been undermined and undermined and undermined. And then we just get to this place where that isn't even a safe place to be. And emotional safety is real and it's key. And it's key to living our alignment.
Mm-hmm. And I would see there the times where I would give in, and then like the next stage would be finding the good enough reason, which worked. But
good enough reason.
Oh no, I can't because.
Oh, so you would start explaining and justifying.
Yeah, I have to take my dog to the vet. Oh, I would love to, but I have other plans, and that works for a while too. But then inside of me, it started to feel. And as you would say, we want to be more honest. I don't want to like even label it dishonest, but it was dishonest. It would feel inauthentic. And I didn't like that feeling either.
Well, that feels so heavy inside. When we're not being honest, like we have to make up some excuse or some justification, then we're the ones that are also living in alignment because we might have noticed and heard within that when we are not honest, we feel bad inside. So then we're kind of being forced to feel bad inside, but that's what self-abandonment does. It causes us to forget about all this and then just keep going without saying, no, I'm not going to do this to myself. I'm not saying that you have to say this outwardly, but inside you're saying, no, I'm not going to do this to myself. I'm not going to allow this boundary destroyer to come in and then have me question myself or cause me to have to justify my no. This is probably too much to bring in up at the end of a podcast, so maybe we should start about this tomorrow.
Do you want to save it for tomorrow?
Well, let me just say this one thing. Maybe that'll whet our appetite. I spent too many decades caring what other people thought of me. And that's what kept me living out of alignment. I care much less about what people think. And that might sound like I've become hardened or jaded or something. But I actually think that I can show up more honestly and I have deeper connections because I'm not seeking you to like my performance. I'm asking that you respect me.
And at the very least, you're going to respect you.
And at the very least, I would respect me. Yes. So let's talk about that a little bit more tomorrow.
I would love to. I have a lot of thoughts, and you're right. It is the end, and that means it's time for our intention of the day. Today we have a curiosity question. What do I do when people don't respect my no? What do I do when people don't respect my no? Thank you so much for joining us today. Our day is better because you are part of our day. See you tomorrow.
See you then.